Military update news: North Korea warns U.S. of horrible nuclear strike which will bring about its final ruin. The hermit state says it is ready to launch a devastating attack which will see its enemies meet a miserable and final ruin. The message comes amid rising fears of World War III breaking out on the Korean peninsula. The mounting crisis in North Korea has left frightened citizens around the world fearing the outbreak of a global military conflict. As Kim Jong-un continues to test Donald Trump's patience with a series of missile launches, time is beginning to wear thin on the president's promise to fight the hermit state with fire and fury. Last week, the communist state warned that nuclear war may break out at any moment in a direct message to the U.S. and Trump. The report from North Korea's official mouthpiece comes just days after Kim Jong-un launched another missile over Japan, leading to calls for tougher sanctions. On Friday morning, the North Korea ballistic missile flew over the Japanese island of Hokkaido and into the Pacific Ocean. This came just 24 hours after Pyongyang said that Japan should be sunken into the sea. The missile flew 2,300 miles in around 17 minutes, which means that the U.S. territory of Guam, which lies 2,100 miles from North Korea, is now in reach. The article in state-run news outlet Rodong Sinmun claims the U.S. is attempting to justify its crimes against North Korea by slating the country's weaponry defense. North Korea still insists that its mass weapon supplies a nuclear deterrence for self-defense. The despotic regime said reckless and ridiculous sanctions, pressure, threat and blackmail from other nations will only spur them on to use their deadly weaponry. They added, the U.S. describes the DPRK's nuclear deterrence for self-defense as the biggest threat to peace. It follows Trump's U.S. disarmament envoy which called for concerted action from the international community to force North Korea to abandon its nuclear and missile programs. U.S. Ambassador Robert Wood, speaking in Geneva, told his international counterparts that the full enforcement of UN sanctions against Pyongyang by all members will achieve the maximum pressure needed to bring North Korea into compliance. Rodong Sinmun added, the DPRK has had access to everything and gained everything it could do despite the harshest sanctions and blockade by the hostile forces, and it is a daydream to calculate that the DPRK can be shaken to change its attitude in face of the new sanctions. The enemy's reckless and ridiculous sanctions, pressure, threat and blackmail will offer an opportunity to the DPRK to bolster up its deterrence, while bring bitterer disgrace to them. In case the U.S. opts for confrontation and war at last, defying the strategic position of the DPRK, nuclear power of Juche and a world military giant, it will meet horrible nuclear strike and miserable and final ruin. The North has also targeted Japan for dancing to the tune of the U.S., suggesting it should never be pardoned for not offering a sincere apology for its never-to-be-condoned crimes against our people, an apparent reference to Japan's wartime aggression. It also referred to South Korea as traitors and dogs of the U.S. Publish in express.co.uk.